Welcome to the Digital Marketing Insights podcast, brought to you by Brightside Digital.
Hi everyone, welcome to the show. I'm delighted to say today we have Evelyne, who's the Managing Director and Founder at Finance OTC Consulting. Evelyne, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, Thomas, and thank you for having me on the podcast today.
It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming up. Evelyne, let's start off by, could you tell our audience a little bit about you and your background, please?
Sure. So I would start by saying that I'm originally from Paris. That's where I was born. That's where I grew up. And I studied international economics and trade first, and then finance management and strategy over there. Then I started my professional life in Paris as well, working initially as a treasury analyst. And after a few years, I joined the multinational corporate world, where I stayed over 25 years altogether. So initially still managing treasury and then adding accounts receivable and credit control, credit management to my portfolio, managing customer services as well, until the point when the first multinational company that I worked with offered me an opportunity to move to Cork, to Ireland, for 3 years to build a new European shared service center. So I took up the opportunity in an accounts receivable manager position there. And then after that, I moved to Dublin. I joined another multinational company. And then later on, I moved back to Cork and I worked for 2 more multinational companies. And over the years, I really specialized in the area of order-to-cash finance and credit management. And one other thing that stands out in my professional background is that in addition to managing the operational side of that finance function, I also had many opportunities to work on complex finance transformation projects. So what this means is that now I bring to the market niche expertise in that finance order to cash function, with both the operations and transformation side of it. And then at the end of 2019, I felt inside of me a strong desire to approach work differently. And then I decided to leverage my expertise and to launch my own consultancy business, providing order-to-cash advisory services. And that was for me a way to have more freedom and also more variety in what I do. So that's my background.
Brilliant. And I think what really appealed to me when I found you, Evelyne, was how you've gone in and digitalized a lot of practices over the years for these multinationals and applying what you know to those places. So could you talk a little bit about that, some of the processes you've put in place and maybe the systems you've had to set up to digitalize some of these companies?
Yeah, sure. So there is one thing where I have, I think, solid background experience, and that is business process design and business process improvement. I had various opportunities throughout my professional life to work on those on this area actually, and particularly with the latest position I had in the multinational corporate world, where I was leading the global order to cash function in a very strategic program called Business Process Modernization Program, where our mission was to implement the latest version of SAP S/4HANA, but also, and most importantly, to completely redesign the business processes of the company worldwide for the next 20 years. So very strategic project, and I really enjoyed my role there because I could really use my skills in business process design. And touching on systems, I had also a few different opportunities to implement an ERP system in the multinational corporate world, and the latest one was S/4HANA. That ERP implementation was cloud-based, and is the closest, in terms of the digital world.
Brilliant. And from your point of view, is there any softwares that aid you day to day in setting up some of your work and doing your work?
No, it's mostly ERP systems that are used by large organizations. But in my current capacity as a finance consultant, I also have a partnership with a couple of fintech companies, and there I have access and visibility over digital solutions, like new technology that is artificial intelligence based, machine learning based, and automation based.
Brilliant. And is there any particular areas you're looking to upskill into, and why?
So in my current capacity as a business owner, there are two things. One is, initially when I started back in March 2020, I needed to build my brand image and to build my credibility in the market. So I decided to focus on my thought leadership skills and to position myself as a thought leader. So to do that, I focused a lot on documenting myself, writing and publishing what I believe is quality content on social media platforms. And this is one area that I enjoy a lot. I think that it is for me the best way I have to provide value to my audience, and I'm always looking for ways to enhance my thought leadership skills and to develop that further. So that's one area where I'm constantly on the lookout for something new or something that will elevate me further, if you like, right? And there is one other aspect is, as you know yourself, as a small business owner, we have to do everything ourselves, including digital marketing and social media and so forth. And so there is one area where I haven't really embraced yet, and that is the area of video marketing. So, I'm very well aware of the fact that most people are very busy nowadays, and, many people would prefer to watch a 2-minute video rather than reading a 6-minute long article. And I'm also very aware of everything that, digital experts out there say regarding the benefits of short videos and so forth. The thing is, I do think that we live in a world that values self-image, ego, and instant gratification or recognition a bit too much. And I prefer to remain authentic myself and to stick to my own values in the way that I market my own business, my consultancy. So this being said, this is an area that I'm not ignoring, and I might actually leverage it in the future if I can use it to offer more value add educational content to my audience.
Yeah, and that's actually really interesting to hear, and hear how you develop your own personal brand, I suppose, so to speak. Have you found any particular platforms that work really well for you when you're putting out your content?
Yes, so first I publish on my website because I have a blog page, right? But I also use social media platforms, the number one being LinkedIn. My target audience are B2B finance leaders or smaller business owners. And all those people are on LinkedIn. So this is definitely my number one platform. And I also publish on my Google My Business account and on my Instagram account.
Brilliant. And how do you find driving traffic to your website, to your blog pieces? Do you see a challenge in that, or are you happy with your growth there?
Yeah, I suppose, at the beginning, I had to learn a lot about what SEO is and, all the different Google tools that we can find on the internet. I don't think it's easy. I have been using Google Ads at times. I have been, trying to improve, yes, the SEO features of my website as well. I would say things have improved. I wouldn't say that I'm totally satisfied with the situation today, but I keep learning and I keep improving every day.
And Evelyn, is there anything in your particular industry that you're really interested in enhancing or moving forward?
So definitely, Thomas, because as you know yourself, over the past couple of years, the world has been turned upside down, right? And that is equally applicable to the world of operational finance and treasury that is close to my heart. So what I do, actually, what I love doing is to learn all the time, every day, and to keep on top of fundamental shifts that are happening in the world of finance. And then I somehow process all of that and I give it back to my audience by way of articles where I try to give as much value and quality as I can. And to do that, actually, I'm now using the newsletter feature on LinkedIn, which I was given access to at the beginning of the year by LinkedIn themselves. So I started to publish a monthly newsletter last March. And so in my newsletter, there is always the same structure where there is a highlight or tip of the month, then there is the main article, then there is a quote, and then there is a recommendation of some kind. But the main article is always about those fundamental shifts and changes that are happening in the world of finance today. So it could be, about, the new risk factors that credit managers need to embed in their credit risk management or assessment model and strategy. It could be about all the ever-changing geopolitical landscape. It could be about the fast momentum of digital adoption by finance organizations. It could be about the evolving role of the CFO and what this means for the entire finance organization, and in particular for the order to cash function, which is a customer facing function and a function that plays a pivotal role in a business organization, working very closely with salespeople, operations people, and so on. So there are so many things changing and changing fast in today's world, that for me it's like a limitless source of interest and inspiration. So I, through my newsletter, in a way, I try to process and digest all of this and give it back to my audience in a clear, concise, and hopefully actionable way, if you know what I mean.
Completely. And that's actually really interesting. Lastly, we always ask on the show, Evelyne, if you could bottle up one personality trait that you have that you could pass on to others, what would it be?
Well, I would say that I am curious. I love to learn every single day. I'm also open-minded with regards to new opportunities coming my way. And I'm always ready to take on a different route than the one I had originally intended, if that is the right thing for me to do. So always, looking out there what's happening and keeping my ears open.
Brilliant. And what a wonderful way to end the show. Evelyne, thank you so much for being on the show. If anyone wants to touch base with you, how can they connect with you?
So people can get in touch with me through my website, financeotcconsulting.com, or they can also connect with me on LinkedIn, Evelyne Legaux, Legaux.
Brilliant. Thank you, Evelyne.
Thank you very much, Thomas.